Match week 22 in USL Championship brings us to the land of bourbon and bluegrass. Kentucky, Lexington SC welcomes Monterey Bay in this Western Conference clash. Welcome inside Lexington SC Stadium alongside former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. Jake Griffin, a pleasure to have you alongside us. We open our show with a look at how the West shakes out entering match week 22. Lexington occupying one of those final playoff spots if the postseason were to begin today. As for Monterey Bay, bringing up the field there at the bottom of the table, but just 7 points out of a playoff spot despite only 4 wins in 2026. This is the second meeting of 2026 between Monterey Bay and Lexington SC. Not much history in way of the all-time series, but Lexington riding high after a 3-1 win in May.
That was Nick Firmino, got them off to a really good start, got a goal in 26th minute, gets a second one in the 31st minute, and he really was on fire. One of those players from midfield who can be so dangerous. And then the third goal, well, it has to go to Philip Goodrum. He always scores. Whatever match it is, he's going to find a goal somewhere, Philip Goodrum. And eventually Leggett got one back for the visiting team.
That is such a brilliant segue because Philip Goodrum is our player to watch, and for good reason. 6 goal involvements this year.
Yeah, 4 goals, 2 assists. Very aggressive player, gets in your face, physical. Got to be careful not to overdo it. Got a red card against Lou City recently in the USL Cup, but the sort of player that as a defender you don't like to play against because he's so good and so quick.
2 goals, 1 assist across his last 3 league appearances for Philip Goodrum. On the flip side of things for Monterey Bay, it's Elijah Paul with his 4 goals. That's a player to watch.
He's a very, very good player. 4 goals and 3 assists. Got the goal in the last match against Orange County. Got a goal 5 matches ago against El Paso. Hard worker. You find his coach, Alice Covello, says, I wish I had more Elijah Pauls on my team.
He also can do it on the defensive side. Leads this team in tackles per 90 minutes. Just shy of 2 per match. Only 3 prior meetings between the Greens and the Crisp and Kelp. Lexington took the most recent one. Monterey Bay looking to even the score here in 2026. It's Lexington SC and Monterey Bay. It's USL Championship when we return to Kentucky.
Lexington, start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolve at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
There's a reason why Toyota is America's best-selling retail brand. It's the quality, dependability, and reliability that you expect from Toyota. And that starts right here in the USA, where Toyota has invested over $49 billion into 11 different manufacturing plants, including the newest one, a battery plant for its electric and hybrid vehicles. There are now 13 different Toyotas built in the USA, with more on the way. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
Hearing is a marvel most take for granted. Tiny bones and special cells turn sounds into signals the brain can understand. But Dewan needed a first-in-the-country cochlear implant from UK Healthcare to hear everything a teenager wants to hear.
Dewan, homework.
And everything they don't. It may sound like an ordinary school night, but just ask Dewan. Ordinary is extraordinary. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Tonight's match is presented by Embassy Suites. Embassy Suites Lexington Green is your go-to spot for a weekend staycation, a night out, hosting meetings and events, or out-of-town friends. Local, loyal, and always game day ready. Back inside Lexington Stadium, almost go time between Monterey Bay and Lexington SC. A chance to preview how these sides will line up. And for the visitors of Monterey Bay, it's a 4-3-3, just one personnel change this week, Gary.
Yeah, Joel Garcia coming in for Quinton Elliott, who drops to the bench. That's the only change in the Orange County game. And for Lexington, no changes. Why would they? Just 2 losses in the last 9. They're looking good.
Mac Himi's side peaking at the right moment. Christian Campo Hernandez is our center referee. He has both teams ready to go here in Lexington. Lexington 4 wins at home this year in 8 tries. They've taken points in 5 of those 8. There is the opening whistle. The ball's officially rolling, and we are underway between Lexington and Monterey Bay. It's Lexington in the dark kits, Monterey Bay in the light tops. Back-to-back losses in USL Championship play for Monterey Bay. Almost turned over there by the visitors. And they will cycle this one back to Jacob Jackson, who goes long in his distribution forward. 8th start in USL Championship play for the former San Diego FC man. Garcia Jr. trying to carve something open here for Monterey Bay in the infancy of this contest. One of those 2 back-to-back losses in league play, as we will get a whistle for a stoppage. In their most recent fixture for Monterey Bay was the Orange County SC loss. Create a lot of chances. You get an abundance of shots. 17, 6 shots on target. You generate 7 corners. And yet you go down 2-0 before you even peg a goal back. The frustration was palpable earlier this week when we talked to Alex Covello.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a rough time for them. They had a great start under their new coach, Alex Covello. But the last 3 games, all losses. And as you say, to the Orange County, their stats were far better. But 2 lapses in concentration. They were punished by a team that's sitting top in the West. And they came back really strongly. I think the coach felt that, you know what? If we can get better XG, expected goals, better stats all around against the top team, then maybe things aren't that bad.
Barajas trying to turn that one upfield and does successfully. The layoff underneath, here's Leggett. Leggett cuts inside, it's Leggett! In the back of the net, and Monterey Bay are flying inside 5 minutes. The 33-year-old Sebastian Leggett starting things off on the front foot, 1-0.
That's a good build-up, and it's a good finish as well. A little bit too much space and time for Monterey Bay on the outside of the box there, but a nice cut inside there. Gets past Kendall Burks, shows all his MLS skills there and the knowledge of what to do in that moment. Just tucks it into that corner past Oliver Semle, but a really good finish. And maybe some lax defending out there on the right-hand side by Lexington.
If you're Monterey Bay coming in on the heels of back-to-back losses in championship play, that is undoubtedly the start that Alex Covello would hope to see for his team away from home.
Goal for Monterey Bay FC in the 2nd minute by number 88, Sebastian Leggett.
Now Lexington will stretch things out, and that is where Jacob Jackson will repossess, acquired in March via the loan from San Diego FC. Made several stops around Major League Soccer. Time with FC Dallas, drafted by New England Revolution, claimed off waivers by San Jose Earthquakes.
That's a perfect start for Monterey Bay after those 3 losses. We were just talking about them, but the one at home to Orange County we discussed, that was a little bit unlucky. At Phoenix, they were 2-1 up, 2 late goals, and they got beat there. And they said it was a tough game against a very good Phoenix side. And Las Vegas at home, they were leading by 2-0. And coach made a lot of changes because it was a USL Cup match and they lost that. So Coach Alex Covello is saying, well, it looks like we've had a tough time. He said, in fairness, we played really, really well. He said, I'm very happy with where we're at as a team and no reason why we can't come here to Lexington and win. He said, the pressure's on them. They're the home side. He said, if we just stick to our methodology and what we believe in, we have every chance of getting a result. So far, so good.
Just the 6th first half goal Monterey Bay have scored, only 29% of their goal-scoring output have come in the opening 45 minutes here in 2026. You go back to Alex Covello, I did think it was interesting. I loved how he classified it. He said, look, performances, that's one word. Outcomes, that's a different word. And that has been the biggest struggle for Monterey Bay, is getting across that finish line.
I think if you look at it since Alex Covello arrived, they're actually probably mid to upper mid-table side. They're just having to cope with a poor start to the season, having to play a lot of catch-up, and that puts you under pressure in a West that literally, I think, is about 7 teams are 3 points apart. It is extremely tight in the West.
We get a stoppage here from our center referee, Christian Hernandez. We showed you that league table in the Western Conference at the start of this broadcast, with San Antonio's victory on Friday against Indy 11 moving to a tie with Orange County. But between first and sixth, only 8 points separating. There was a yellow that came out of the pocket of Christian Campo Hernandez. First one handed out to Xavier Zingue. About 5 minutes into this contest against Lexington.
The referee has issued a yellow card to Lexington SC's number 12.
A little bit of a professional foul. Unnecessary in the opponent's half, in your own half, edge of your box. Maybe I get it, but all the way up there, not needed.
That yellow card for Xavier Zingue brought to you by Hicks and Funson. Let's take a look at tonight's Toyota. Keys to the game. And Gary, for Lexington, they want to dominate the ball.
This is what Mac Hemi said, and if you look at Aaron Malloy, Blaine Ferry in midfield, no reason why they shouldn't. They've got so much quality, got quality going forward as well, so they should be able to dominate the ball during this match. And for Monterey Bay, Alex Covello saying be aggressive with our high pressure. He said, let's make it difficult for them. Let's go to their ground and pick the right moments to put them under huge pressure.
Lexington starting to ask some questions here after going down in the blink of an eye. There's the aforementioned Aaron Malloy, whose pass goes deflecting back to Oliver Simlet, the 28-year-old German keeper acquired at the start of the year, coming over from North Carolina FC. Marcus Epps working on the left side now. He'll rifle this one atop the area. Knocked clear by Monterey Bay. Not deep enough, though. Pressure kept on by Malloy. To Jacob Green. Now forward, here's Epps. Epps heading to that byline. Once the cutback deflected away. And out it goes for a Lexington throw.
Well, this is what we expected from Lexington at home. Huge pressure on the opposition. Boxing them in, making it very difficult. There's Alex Covello trying to give some advice and some help to his team, but you can't be stuck in this position for too long if you're Monterey Bay. Got to get the ball, play your way out of trouble. Otherwise, Lexington will crush them with this sort of pressure.
This is an area that Mac Hemi's side have excelled in this year. Goals off throw-ins in the final third. Twice they've scored. They heave it in toward the 6. There's Jackson snugging that in line, and now we'll drop kick it away.
That's a great drop kick straight to the feet of Elijah Paul up front. Oh, sorry, it was actually to Saidi.
The hold-up play was successful, helping jumpstart Monterey Bay, and now they earn themselves a corner on the other side. We talk about the modern goalkeeper getting involved with their feet. You being a goalkeeper yourself, just how important is it to be able to have that extra player back there to distribute?
Well, it was a wonderful kick out all the way to the halfway line, straight to Saidi's feet. And he was able to hold it up, and look where they are now. They've got themselves a corner, and we were just saying, you've got to release that pressure. You've got to get on the ball and get to the other end of the pitch. That's exactly what Monterey Bay have done.
Once this season, Monterey Bay have scored off a corner. Sebastian Leggett, who put them up early, will have it from the far flag. A little bit of jockeying for positioning, though, and that is where Christian Hernandez will whistle things to a halt, at least for the moment. Wants to have a chat with the forward Philip Goodrum. Now that chat is officially over. Leggett curls this one in. The heads go up, and it's thumped clear by Lexington.
I think relief for Oliver Semle there. He came for that ball, never got anywhere near it, the goalkeeper. maybe there was something else going on in that box. Let's have a look at it again. Jeb puts the ball in. You can't see from that. You can just see the end of Semle trying to lean over players, not getting anywhere close. Here's a better example of it. Watch the goalkeeper comes out, doesn't get anywhere near it. The referee spots something amiss.
Green's trying to go back the other way. Can't hang on to it, and it's whipped all the way back down by Monterey Bay. It's been a high-flying, energetic start for the visitors. The layoff underneath, slid in front, falls back to Leggett. He'll leave it off, and the shot is blocked. Still working in possession right now as Monterey Bay does take a ricochet off a Lexington defender. And the Crispin Kelp will have a throw-in. Trying to fight through challenges. That ball ultimately dislodged by Lexington. And now a chance to roll this one forward into the possession of Epps. On the other end of it is Marcus Epps. Epps, top of the area. It's Rodriguez, lines it up, and goes off the top netting.
That's the danger coming from Lexington, the quality they have up front from Marcus Epps all the way to Rodriguez. He's not too far over, is Braudilio Rodriguez. Look at that. Goalkeeper scrambling across, Jacob Jackson just in case. And that's when you look at that front three, or front four, if you take Nick Firmino as an attacking midfielder, Rodriguez, Marcus Epps, Philip Goodrum, you got your hands full trying to deal with them.
Almost a near giveaway, some issues here at the back. The net is empty! Whiskers wide of the near post and out.
Blaine Ferry with a chance there to have buried that one there. Poor ball played back. Under pressure. You got enough pressure from this front three or four. Don't create pressure, unnecessary pressure of your own. And Blaine Ferry tries to tuck it in that far post. It was a sliding Zach Farnsworth come across who might have been able to have stopped it going in, but a good chance for the home side.
Well, the Twitter account when playing out of the back goes horribly wrong already exists. Now I think we need for that one when playing out of the back almost goes horribly wrong. They come away unscathed, Monterey Bay do, but under the brunt of pressure again, and Jacob Jackson once more standing on his head, stymieing Blaine Ferry out for a corner.
Yeah, the coach not happy there, Alex Covello. You're creating so many problems for yourself there, Monterey Bay. Just waiting for somebody else to come and clear that instead of clearing it himself. Goalkeeper makes a solid save from a ball that's hit really hard.
Today's Lexington SC corner kicks presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Ferry spins this in toward goal, deflecting around, and Karam's wide.
Well, that's all the quality they have. We mentioned the attacking quality, but don't discount Blaine Ferry and Aaron Malloy. They might be doing more of the defensive work, but they can score goals and cause problems as well. There's so much going forward for this Lexington SC side, and if you look at their recent form, that they've been so good. Only 2 losses in their last 9, and Mac Hemmy's saying, well, you're really beginning to see the real Lexington now. Took a while for him to settle in as a new coach at the start of the season. New players arriving, Philip Goodrum, for example, Aaron Malloy, they've all got to settle in. But now they're doing that, you're seeing such quality coming through, and you've got to fancy Lexington to not only make the top 8 in a playoff place, but if they win today, they'll be in the top 4. And that's where I really think they should be. That's how good this setup is.
For that give and go to spring Lexington free out wide. We get a delayed whistle. And this will be a card that pops out of the pocket of our center referee.
There was a jersey or a shorts tug there, very clear to be seen. And although play went on, the referee quite rightly calls it back and delivers a yellow card for the same reason he delivered the first one. Have a look there. There's the tug on the pants.
That is a yellow card for Ryuga Nakamura, brought to you by Hicks and Fumpson.
number 14.
Simile will lift this one forward, glancing header along, and ultimately Monterey Bay will repossess. Gary, if you're Lexington, you go down so early in this contest. How do you readjust your mindset and stay focused at getting back level in this match?
Yeah, I don't think you really have to readjust. I think you think there's a long way to go. I mean, it could easily be 1-1 already. It could be 2-1 to Lexington. I don't think they're worried at this stage.
Gonna stand this cross up out wide, chest it down, and Jackson will bat that one away from the end line.
Now, if there's 5 minutes or 10 minutes left and you're still 1-0 down, then different story. Then you have to start taking some risks. But given the quality in this team and the confidence with which they've been playing, and you know, they've been away at FC Tulsa and got a 0-0 draw. That was a decent result. Beat Oakland Roots 2-0 at home. You know, there's a lot of confidence that's flowing through this team. There was one dodgy result. They lost 4-1 at home to New Mexico, but Mac Hemmy's saying, you know, on the day, if you go and look at it, there's some golazos being scored by New Mexico. He said, we just caught them on a day when we were unlucky and they were brilliant.
Lovely link up, knocked away by Monterey Bay, and it pops out to Jacob Green. Green over on that left-hand side. These last few weeks, he's done such a good job of tucking in, keeping this Lexington side compact, and then providing something going forward offensively. Here he is again, trying to provide that. Clips it along. Epps comes out of a crowd, still with it. Epps recycles over to Burks. Worked up ahead by Ferry. On the half turn, it's Green, goes for goal. And that will skip into the midst of Jacob Jackson again. Turn to the CBS Sports Network on Saturday, August 8th for an action-packed USL Championship Western Conference showdown. Feisty Monterey Bay take on a surging New Mexico United club determined to climb up the standings. Catch all the action on CBS Sports Network August 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern. One team that we currently have and one team we just talked about, New Mexico United, and their manager, Dennis Sanchez. New Mexico United coming into match week 22, finding themselves in 5th position. They're really heating up over these last 5 matches. 3-0-2 is their recent form.
If you look at that league table in the West, and you go from New Mexico in 5th down to Phoenix in 11th, there's only a 3-point gap. I mean, it's phenomenal. A couple of wins and you go from near bottom to near top.
Here's Lexington, knocking. Pass deflected away, falls top of the area and driven high. But to your point, it is such a tight race right now in the Western Conference.
Well, Lexington currently 8th on 22 points. Should they win this match, they will then move up to 4th, tied with Colorado Springs. You're jumping up 4 places with 1 win. And Phoenix, if they won, they're in 11th. If they won, they'd be joint with New Mexico, right up there as well. So I mean, it's just a big jump if you can just get a couple of wins, a little bit of momentum going. And Mac Hemmy's got that going with his side. As we mentioned, their run recently has been really good. Just 2 losses in the last 9, and one of those, as he said, against New Mexico, where they caught them on a day when they were perfect. The other one, Lou City, when they had Philip Goodrum sent off, ended up losing 4-2. So, you know, those two aside, they've been in absolutely really good form, and that's why they're slowly moving up the table.
Mac Hemmy's side, Lexington SC, they come into today having taken 16 of a possible last 24 points. You look back to their prior 24 points at the start of May, just 6 points taken in that stretch. So it has been a marked improvement at this midseason mark for Lexington.
Well, they can tie a club record today. If they do win, they'll have 16 points from the last 7, which will equal their club record. So again, you can't be doing too bad if you're setting records. But 1-0 down, there's a long way to go before they've got this win.
Here's Epps again working on the left-hand side. Was trying to slide back into the center of the pitch, had it taken away, but pieces picked up now by Aaron Malloy. Malloy looking to roll it in behind. Monterey Bay providing good coverage there. namely Nico Gordon, and it rolls out of play. Lifted along and forward. Barajas. Left it off for Leggett. Now Leggett gives it up. Garcia back inside looking for Leggett, sliding down. It goes tumbling down for Lexington, and he stays down. Play continues on. Nakamura cycles it over. Nakamura is carrying a yellow. Picked one up earlier in this first half. Still Monterey Bay over on that left-hand side. Looking to whip that cross in. Not on line. It'll stay here, though. Whether you're headed to the next match or your next road trip, step into class and experience luxury performance at GenesisofLexington.com. Genesis of Lexington, part of Don Franklin Auto Group and proud partner of LSC. Second corner of the opening half for Monterey Bay. Sebastian Leggett handled the first one. He will handle this second one. Elects to go the short route in over to Glasgow. Lifted back over to the near side of the pitch. Twisting and turning is Farnsworth. Still Farnsworth flashes that ball back post. Leggett leaves it off. This hit from distance won't make its way through the rebound. Karam's forward. Nagamura lifts it high, and it was influenced by Lexington. Another corner coming for Monterey Bay.
Wow, good little spell there. Farnsworth doing really well at the back post to recycle that ball. When it comes in here, eventually it gets to Nakamura. You're thinking, just there, he sets himself up, opens up a bit of a gap, and maybe takes a split second too long to pull the trigger. Have a look when it comes back to him. Touch, waits, touch again, and then there's the block. But good little bit of play from the visiting team.
In-swinger from Leggett. Out for the punch comes Simlay. Got a little bit of a piece of it. Still not clear, though. Now Monterey Bay will cycle this all the way back to Jackson to reset things. Booming ball forward. A whistle will sound, though, and that'll end it for Monterey Bay. Nonetheless, a very promising spell of possession there for the visitors.
Certainly was. Elijah Paul there just called up because he didn't look at the ball. He looked at the center back, ran into him. If you look, you got to keep your eyes on the ball. But yeah, good little spell there. And when they're on the front foot, Monterey Bay, they look decent. And again, when Alex Cavallo said, don't look at our results the last few games. We've been playing really well, and the results just haven't gone our way.
Good ball forward. On the other end of it is Lexington. And Xavier Zingate at the end line looking for that cutback again. Blocked out of play, and Lexington will have their second corner.
It's a really good start to this game. They're two sides who want to get on the front foot. And Alex Cavallo said to us when we chatted to him, he said, I want my team to play with character, personality. Go out there and, you know, give a good account of yourself. Don't just be defending. So they've tried to go forward, which means that they leave a little bit of a gap at the back as well. And that allows Lexington to have a go at them. So it's a real back and forth.
Another Commonwealth Credit Union corner here for Lexington SC. It'll be Blaine Ferry. Swings this ball in. Jackson punches it away. Falls top of the area. Lofted wide, and Will Karam out of play. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Headed along by Lexington, who right now have only had 41% share of the ball so far. As we come up on about 25 minutes elapsed in this opening half. They do have the 5 shots. And now a whistle will see Blaine Ferry get shown a foul. Monterey Bay, they've made their game plan clear to this juncture. Almost 10 touches in the penalty area of Lexington. And they do have the lead to show for it, just 3 minutes in. Sebastian Leggett. It is coughed up, though, in the defensive half by Monterey Bay, and Lexington will go back to work. Epps back to goal, pleading for a whistle, and those pleas will be answered.
Epps asking for a yellow card as well, but don't think there was anything untoward. Maybe a little bit of a push and a shove, but nothing more than that.
Loudon man Jacob Green restarts play. There is Aaron Malloy. Clipped forward, and that has somewhat been the story of this opening half for Lexington. They have done a good job of getting into this final third, but at times not been able to complete that final pass. Still, though, it's been very promising start to you, as you mentioned earlier, for both of these teams really living up to the billing.
Yeah, it's been exciting. They've both been creating chances at the other end. Sometimes you get matches where first 20 minutes it's tight and no one really has a go, but both these teams pushing forward.
Acres of space to move here. Blaine Ferry rather try to close that off on Leggett. Leggett slides it over and it's tapped in! Fidel Barajas doubling the lead. Monterey Bay are rolling on the road.
Wow, what a surprise. And as we said, they've been so positive. Leggett has been behind everything that's happened going forward. Head up, plays this ball, and it's a fantastic pass. It's right to the feet of Fidel Barajas. And you can see what he's doing. Leggett sets it up for Barajas just to tuck it into the corner. Give the keeper no chance whatsoever. Brilliant from the man who's leading this team up front. Leggett, 1 goal, 1 assist. And as we're saying, they've been positive. That's what he wanted. Alex Cavallo wanted his team to play with character, personality, and they've certainly done that so far.
Well, welcome back to USL Championship. Fidel Barajas, the former Charleston Battery man, getting on the score sheet for the first time in 2026 since coming over on the loan to Monterey Bay. Alex Cavallo said he's a guy, you put him on the field, you can put him anywhere. He creates. That time, Leggett creating and Barajas capitalizing. Simlay lifts it forward, caught the boot of Philip Goodrum, but too heavy of a touch. And it's worked back over to Jackson for Monterey Bay. Straddling that stripe on the outside are the visitors. Protests for a foul go unanswered from our center referee, and Lexington will transition back into the attack. Rodelio Rodriguez wants to play it through to Epps, no one there.
It's beginning to feel a little bit like the 4-1 home defeat to New Mexico, in that it wasn't a game in which Lexington were that bad necessarily. It was that just New Mexico took their chances when they came along. It's exactly what Monterey Bay have done so far. Now, of course, it could all change. There's plenty of time yet, you know, for Lexington to get a couple of goals.
The counter is on quickly here. Played in. Rodriguez off the post, banged in! A lifeline for Lexington, courtesy of Rodelio Rodriguez. And the Greens have the deficit, 2-1.
That's turnover possession again by Monterey Bay. They've got to do better at holding the ball, looking after it on the edge of their box. Comes to Malloy, sets up Rodriguez from an angle. Doesn't quite hit it clean, but he gets the angle right and it comes in off the post. But a little bit before that, Monterey Bay had the ball and they allowed that turnover and they got punished for it. And you can't do that against a team with the strike force of Lexington SC.
Rodelio Rodriguez grabbing his second goal of the season. Recalled from that loan to One Knoxville in USL League One on June 2nd of this year. You start to see why Lexington wanted to have him back into the fold, an instant offense creator for this LSC side.
But again, they have so many weapons that can hurt you, Lexington. That's what we were saying, even 2-0 up is a long way to go in this match. And for Monterey Bay, even though they have a 1-goal lead, the potential for Lexington to get 3 or 4 is there. But having said that, Monterey Bay have also looked sharp up front, so setting up to be a fantastic one. Now, is that a pull on the shirt there?
Advantage is played by Christian Hernandez. Lexington trying to capitalize, and it's slid out of play for a throw.
The reason I ask is that the level's been set. There's been 2 pulls, 2 yellow cards. You would think anybody else goes around pulling shirts or shorts is going to end up in the book.
"30 minutes deep into this contest, an hour left to play. We've already seen 3 combined goals. Things started out in the 3rd minute. Sebastian Leggett, who has a 2-goal involvement evening, assisting on the Fidel Barajas strike in the 26th minute. Lexington, though, they've scored the most recent in the 29th. They won a second now, pass behind Brodilio Rodriguez, and it's just drilled clear by Monterey Bay.
There's a man around which most of what Lexington do happens, Aaron Malloy.
Rodriguez will slide it ahead. Here's Green, cuts it in front, and it's deflected out of play. Corner coming for Lexington.
Philip Goodrum not happy in the middle. He felt he was free, and it was simple pass to him, and it would have hit the back of the net. And that's, I think, is what Jacob Green was trying to do. He just couldn't thread it through. Defender gets the block.
Lexington SC corners presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. This will be the 3rd of the evening. Malloy drives it near post, nodded away. Did catch the head primarily of Lexington, so a goal kick it is for Monterey Bay.
He's a real battler, Philip Goodrum. Really gets in the way of centre-backs and defenders, upsets them, annoys them, frustrates them. Sort of guy that you don't want to play against, you'd rather have on your team.
Here's Epps leading the charge on the counter. Rodriguez handed back off to him. Cycled around now, clipped toward goal. Out of the reach of everyone for Lexington, and out of play it spills.
Wow, a lot of possession, a lot of opportunities for Lexington. Once again, Monterey Bay need to get their foot on the ball because they're chasing here. When that ball comes in from Nick Firmino, if Philip Goodrum was a little bit deeper, a little bit towards that back post, that's a straightforward header in. So difficult times for Monterey Bay, even though they're 2-1 up. A lot of pressure coming from the home side.
Even when Lexington were trailing 1-0, we saw their counter attack start to create some issues. That press for Lexington forcing Monterey Bay into some giveaways at the back, and now Lexington have capitalized at least on one of those mistakes. West 6th Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Head to west6th.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms and learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC. I always love it when teams find ways to connect with their local community. You have a craft beer, you have a fun way for fans to get involved.
Well, a football club or soccer club is generally at the heart of a community, especially in Europe. A lot goes around the soccer club and what's happening, and I think it's beginning to get that way in America as well.
Here's Epps for Lexington off the throw in. Slides it back across, now tucked inside, and Monterey Bay collapsing on that ball. Firmino to Zingay. Back over to Aaron Malloy, who earlier this week was dubbed the #1 player in USL Championship by the publication Backheeled, specifically Mr. USL himself, John Morrissey. And he's been very valuable to this Lexington side.
He certainly has, and again, Mac Hemi just saying that everything goes around him. Aaron Malloy, he controls that midfield, he controls the tempo of the side, and he scores a few goals, 4 goals and 4 assists coming from, you know, deeper midfield. That's very impressive numbers.
Mac Hemi voluntarily telling us, I think Aaron Malloy is the best player in USL Championship. Here he is now. He'll shovel it over. Zenge, what a wonderful layoff, trying to find Jacob Green.
It's a problem for Monterey Bay. They just can't get their foot on the ball, and a lot of pressure, a lot of balls flying in the box. And eventually the numbers sort of tell, and something will happen, you think, for Lexington.
Lexington trying to switch the point of the attack. That too much weight behind it. Over the head of Green it goes and out of play. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Select also the official match ball provider of the Gainbridge Super League, which is about to get kick-started here with their 3rd season in a few weeks. Lexington Women, of which Mac Hemi used to be the manager of, the reigning Super League champions. Big offseason coup pulled as well. Acquired Ali Perry from Juventus just a few weeks ago. Looks like Lexington might be loading up for a run at back-to-back titles.
Well, I wouldn't write off the men winning titles either. There's such a good side.
Clearance intercepted by Firmino, still free. Firmino goes sailing into the seats.
That's a great job they're doing at Lexington with the stadium, women's football, men's football. As you said, they're becoming part of the community, and that's wonderful to see. There's this, again, trying to play out of defense. Monterey Bay having a lot of problems getting on the ball, and as the match goes on, they're getting less and less time on the ball. Early on, they were able to create a few counter-attacks, but since then, they've really struggled.
Lexington will head that one back down, and now the green's on it, at least for a moment. That'll go caroming toward the halfway line, and Xavier Zenge, brother of Zach Zenge, one of the leading scorers in MLS Next Pro this season. Both he and Xavier both spending time with the Columbus Crew organization. Now Xavier Zenge in his 2nd season with Lexington SC.
You see Monterey Bay not even bother going into the other half, barely. They just say, if you want the ball there, keep it. We'll just stay in a pretty low block and try and eat up the space.
Epps changing direction now. Epps will loft this back stick, headed out. And it'll stay here. Corner coming for Lexington.
Good defending again from Monterey. I don't know if that ball was already out when it was headed. But Epps, such a dangerous player. Doesn't quite get that cross right, but it's still threatened at that far post. I did it cross the line before the header came in. That referee's given the corner.
It is a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Lexington SC. 4th corner of the opening 45. Blaine Ferry will go back to work over in the far corner. Xavier Zenge coming up wincing just a little bit, grabbing at that eye. That is what's delaying the restart to play here on this ensuing corner for Lexington. Ferry goes low with this to the near side. Dealt with ease by Monterey Bay. Once again, struggling to clear that ball out of the end.
Just inviting pressure back on themselves. Not that they're doing it on purpose, obviously, but they've got to get on that ball and control it.
Ferry clips this along, headed toward goal. Now a Monterey Bay man is slow to get back to his feet. That appears to be Nick Ross. Visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC Team Store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. That's lexsporting.com.
Chance for the players to get a drink on what no doubt is a hot, muggy evening. Nick Ross just waits for some attention. But they've done well to stay 2-1 up, Monterey Bay, because there's been a lot of pressure coming from Lexington. A lot of things happening around the edge of the box, balls knocked in, and they haven't been fully punished for it yet, Monterey Bay, but just don't think they can keep this up without Lexington eventually getting a breakthrough.
It is Nick Ross, the player who is down, being tended to by the training staff of Monterey Bay.
Those fans would be delighted if they can come back and get the 3 points. Matt Clemmy saying to us, the 3 points, we need to, not only just to move up the table, but also, you know, to build some momentum. And he said in some ways this is a 6-pointer, because if we lose this, Monterey Bay are right behind us. So he said it'd be dangerous to underestimate them. They are the bottom team, but given the changes under Alex Covello, they look a totally different side. They look as good as any other side in the West at the moment. And I think that's where you have to be careful and not judge them as a team that's going to be easy to beat. And we've seen that already, especially with the way Sebastian Leget's been playing.
A goal and an assist for the savvy veteran, Sebastian Leget. Meanwhile, speaking of savvy vets, Nick Ross back to his feet, and he will walk off the pitch, flanked by trainers. The podcast, The Union Report, that covers Monterey Bay so extensively, they actually had a very wide-ranging interview with Nick Ross just a few days ago, talking about his career and also the fact that he started the Uniquely United Soccer Project with his wife, which helps connect kids in the local community that are on the spectrum with soccer, getting them involved in the sport, doing it not just on the field but off the field as well. And Nick Ross is off the field, at least for the moment, being looked at by the trainers. Monterey Bay, as we resume play, down to 10 men for the moment. There is the aforementioned Sebastian Leget. Big splashy signing when he came over in March of 2026. Of course, USL Championship, especially this week, is no stranger to big splashy signings. Here's Goodrum. Shoves it along. Firmino in front, deflected in, and we're level. Two unanswered for Lexington to pull back square late in the first half.
This is all about pressure, isn't it? Getting balls into dangerous areas, and ball does come across there to Nick Firmino. Just puts it in there, and it just hits the leg of Nakamura and goes in, and not much he can do about it, because those sort of balls are so dangerous. If he leaves it, Goodrum is going to tap it in anyway, so he's trying to do something. And we said, if you stay this deep, if you allow this much pressure from Lexington, something's going to crack in the end, and it does. It's an own goal. Unlucky for Nakamura, but that's just the pressure that Goodrum was applying right off Nakamura's shoulder.
What a turnaround for Lexington. You go down 2-0 at home, and now you've scored twice, unresponded to. And it's a whole new ball game. Monterey Bay, as Nick Ross is back on the pitch to bring them back to full strength. Just how unlucky. Back-to-back weeks now in USL Championship play. They've conceded an own goal. Did so in the 52nd minute last week against Orange County.
Well, they've been conceding a lot of goals from being 2-0 up. They were 2-0 up against Las Vegas. They were 2-0 up against Phoenix. And in these situations, you know, you've got to try and hold on to that lead, and they've allowed, in fact, in both those games, they lost by 3-2. I wonder if it's going to happen here again.
Well, the old cliche is the 2-0 lead is the most dangerous in football, right? That's what we always hear, and Monterey Bay proving it true.
Yeah, to some point, although I'd much rather be 2-0 up than 2-0 down. I think it's a little bit of a fallacy that 2-0 up is the worst result. I'd take that any day of the week. Although here, it hasn't actually happened for Monterey Bay, but that's just because Lexington has been so good, which is how we thought the game might go beforehand. So difficult to stop all this attacking talent from getting at your back line.
Coming up on the expiration of the opening 45 minutes If you like offense, this has been your game. 3rd-minute goal started us out from Sebastian Lletget. Fidel Barajas grabbing a second for Monterey Bay in the 26th minute. But since then, the Greens have flipped the script. 29th and 43rd minutes. And that brings us to 2-2. Trying to roll it back ahead, and they do, to Glasgow. Glasgow hesitates. Lletget. Initial indication is 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this half, and it is the case, according to our 4th official, Race Williams. Christian Hernandez immediately waving trainers on the pitch again for Monterey Bay.
Well, it's Nick Ross again, and I think that's why the referee's making a very quick decision here. Once you've seen concussion and a player goes down a second time, you have to get the medical staff on, and I would guess they'll get him off the pitch, because if he's not feeling well, you don't take any risk with that sort of thing.
Nick Ross, the 34-year-old from Scotland, spent some time with El Paso Locomotive, 189 USL appearances, including his start tonight, which is his 15th of the 2026 season. Been a crucial part of Alex Cavello's squad throughout the course of this campaign.
Yeah, was so good at Sac Republic as well over the years. Started at Inverness in Scotland, 175 appearances in Inverness. But yeah, whenever you get that sort of situation, I think most coaches would want to pull the player off straight away and say, we're not taking any risks. Go and see the doctors, just make sure that there's nothing untoward happening. It's not worth your mental health, physical/mental health, to take any risks.
Play will resume off the drop ball, and it's thumped out of play. Alex Cavello chatting over on this near touchline with our center referee, asking for a substitution window to be able to bring a change on, and now they will get that, as Belmar Joseph, the acquisition on the loan from FC Sion out of Sweden, will come on for his 13th appearance for Monterey Bay. You mentioned Inverness earlier, the Scottish Premiership. They are back this weekend, a couple weeks early, setting the table for ultimately Premier League returning as well. It's a great time to be a soccer fan across the world.
Well, we're all struggling to complete our lives without the World Cup. We're like, when's it all going to start up again? But of course, you've got all the USL and MLS and NWSL still going on here in the States. So a lot of soccer to watch here. And soon Europe will join in.
Firmino now threads it back out wide, running onto it is Xavier Zingue, wants to float it in and head it away. Xavier Zingue's put in a lot of miles over on that right-hand channel in this first half for Lexington SC. They get a throw in out of it deep in toward this final third. Burks, the long toss in, glance toward goal. Shortly headed away by Monterey Bay, worked back down, Zingue off the volley. Will fire that wide and into the seats. It'll be Monterey Bay to restart play via the goal clearance from Jacob Jackson.
It's a time limit on goalkeepers. He's going to have to be careful there. Doesn't overdo it. The referee raises, if he does raise his hand, you've got 5 seconds from that moment to take your goal kick, and certainly was taking his time there, Jacob Jackson.
On the move now is Glasgow and Monterey Bay, who steps inside, has a hit from distance, and that'll go considerably high of Oliver Simlay. Now Christian Hernandez taking some issue with Lexington restarting play. Simlay finally will. Former Marshall Thundering Herd man, won a national championship during his time at the collegiate level. Now teammates again with Milo Yosef, who's not available for selection for Lexington today. Here's Braudilio Rodriguez, who has a goal. There was a foul back behind the plate as Rodriguez was trying to move down. They quickly restart it, put toward Jacob Jackson by Zenge, and Jackson will just lay on it.
Oh, Firmino was open in the middle of the box there. If Zenge had seen him, that could have been the leading goal just before half-time. But again, Lexington's so dangerous, quick thinking, and very, very sharp in attack.
Jackson will thump that down first, though. There was a whistle from Christian Hernandez.
It seems to have gone to Lexington, so did the goalkeeper take too long?
That is the initial indication. It is a Commonwealth Credit Union corner kick for Lexington, 5th of the day. Fired back post, punched away by Jackson. Falls right to the feet of Ferry, lofts it back inside, nodded out, and it will be another late corner for Lexington. Going back to the initial one, Christian Hernandez had already had 2 chats with Jacob Jackson about time wasting and had finally seen enough. Another Commonwealth Credit Union corner. Ferry tries to curl it in toward goal. Heads go up again, and there is the halftime whistle. All even at 2 apiece at 45 minutes in.
Yeah, really good first half. So exciting to watch. Lexington coming back from 2-0 down. Classy team with so much attacking talent, but credit Monterey Bay for taking their opportunities when they come. And in particular, Sebastian Leggett with an assist and a goal. Fantastic first half for him.
Blink and you'll miss it. It started 3 minutes in, and the scoring didn't stop from there. 4 combined goals as we reach the intermission in Kentucky. Lexington 2, Monterey Bay 2. We'll head to the half. Stay with us for our halftime report.
Your heart beats around 100,000 times a day, racing blood and oxygen through 60,000 miles of vessels. But when Andy's heart failed, it was UK Healthcare that delivered him a new transplant in record time, so he could finally get back to taking it slow. It may seem like an ordinary afternoon, but Andy will be the first to tell you, ordinary is extraordinary. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise, the energy. 90 minutes where nothing else matters.
Into the box, Firmino sizzles the string.
It's the year of the horse, our year.
Oh, what a save by Sedley.
Be there when it happens.
Lexington, start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolved at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to his feet. The noise,
Malloy.
the energy. 90 minutes where nothing else matters.
Into the box. Fabino sizzles the string.
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Oh, what a save by Sedley.
Be there when it happens.
Back in Kentucky, we are at the half between Lexington and Monterey Bay, even at 2. Well, on both the men's and women's side, the future is bright around USL. Let's catch up on all things building the future and the W League final.
They are more than shiny and new. The latest collection of brand new stadiums in USL are a commitment to communities. Fans in Boise have set attendance records. Finishing touches greet the fans in Fort Wayne weekly. In Greenville, Triumph fans are in love with their permanent new home. These projects take time and patience, but nothing gets a community excited like seeing a shovel in the ground. Detroit City of the USL Championship has gone from dreams to renderings to construction. At its recent groundbreaking in Southwest Detroit, Alumni Phi Stadium became a vision for the very near future.
We've been incredibly fortunate to create something that's way bigger than us, and that we have the great fortune of being stewards of it. And the stadium represents really an investment in that community, an investment in this neighborhood, a tremendous investment in the city, and something that will be around for generations to come.
With this stadium, the club is investing in its future and demonstrating a long-term commitment to building a sustainable, community-driven club. I'm excited for what the future holds for Detroit City. I can't wait to be back here for the opening match in 2028. And I want to say congratulations to the fans, supporters, ownership group, and the entire community that made this amazing new home possible.
At 15,000 seats, Alumni Phi raises the bar for Detroit City. Soon there will be more groundbreakings and sounds of stadium construction as USL gets closer to the launch of Premier.
Takes a bounce. First time shot, it's in! The Vermont Green have equalized! Unreal! Jaw-dropping leveler. Stoppage time drop. Wonderful finish in the USL.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Base, chance at goal. It's in. Monterey Bay with another strong start. Christian Nava, the Albuquerque native, puts New Mexico on top.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care.
We're at the break in Kentucky, and it is all level at 2 apiece between Lexington SC and Monterey Bay here in match week 22. This is not the only action happening around USL Championship as we take a look at our upcoming schedule in a plenty busy slate of matches, including the one that everyone has their eyes on at 9:30 Eastern. New Mexico United and Colorado Springs Switchbacks, a top 5 tilt in the Western Conference. New Mexico undefeated in their last 5 matches. Colorado Springs 4 wins and 1 loss in their last 5 fixtures. Things will close out tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on Golazo Network between Orange County and El Paso. And then attention will shift over to Wednesday. Speaking of El Paso Locomotive, they welcome Monterey Bay on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. El Paso grabbing some headlines, acquiring Pedro Cruz, goalkeeper from Houston Dynamo, earlier this week on a season-long loan. As for everything else going on around USL Championship, we head to our friend Dan Lucas for this halftime update.
Start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolve at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
It takes dozens of muscles to pinch your fingertips. Countless neurons firing right on cue. But when a car accident left Allison paralyzed, it took a rare procedure by a UK healthcare expert to restore those lost motor skills so she could care for herself again, and for others too. It may look like an ordinary bracelet, but Allison knows ordinary is extraordinary. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise, the energy. 90 minutes where nothing else matters.
Into the box, Firmino sizzles the string.
It's the year of the horse, our year.
Oh, what a save by Sedley.
Be there when it happens.
We've reached the rest portion of this contest. Halftime, 2-2 between Lexington and Monterey Bay. A chance to bring you up to speed on how we got to the intermission with our halftime highlights between Lexington and Monterey Bay.
So tough on Nakamura, but well deserved by Lexington.
A lot to cheer about if you're a Lexington fan through 45 minutes of play as we take a look at our halftime stats. And it's been an efficient day at the office for the Greens with 3 shots on target.
3 shots also for Monterey Bay. They've not done too badly. A lot more shots, Monterey Bay, but I don't think it shows that Lexington have looked the more dangerous side, had the better opportunities, got a higher expected goals, and had twice the number of touches in the opposition box to Monterey Bay. So I do think it's going to be a tough second half for Monterey Bay.
All ready to go for half number 2. Both teams out of the dressing room and have retaken the pitch. Monterey Bay hoping the second half will bring about a positive turn of form, at least in their recent play down the stretch of that opening 45 minutes. Lexington, meanwhile, they're riding the hot hand. They scored 2 unanswered. Firmino, who had a couple good looks at goal, helped set some things up for Lexington. Neither side making a change as we get set to resume this contest. And with that whistle and kick, we do exactly that. Play back underway. Lexington SC Stadium here in Kentucky is our site, along with Gary Bailey, Jake Griffith. Glad to have you with us for what has been a really back and forth contest.
That's been really good. I mean, besides the 4 goals, the quality of the goals has been there. But I do feel that Lexington have applied a lot of pressure to Monterey Bay, and they fought their way back from a 2-0 deficit thanks to the brilliance of Sebastian Leggett that got Monterey Bay 2-0 up. They fought their way back, Lexington. If they can keep that pressure up second half, it's going to take a real real sort of set of skills from Monterey Bay to leave here with anything.
Here's Glasgow from distance, forces Simlay into early action, parries it away, and it's a corner for the visitors.
Well, that's the style. That's what they did first half. They came out and they went at Lexington, and they got some joy from it, and they seem to have started the second half the same way. We're just saying you can't sit back and let Lexington dominate the way they did for the latter part of the first half, and Monterey Bay under Alex Covello seem to be trying to stop that from happening by attacking Lexington instead.
Here's Leggett from the corner, fires it into the crowd in front of Simlay, falls to Glasgow, who scuffs the shot. Now second effort, there was a whistle right before that attempt. You go back to Alex Covello, though, the idea of taking it to Lexington. So we look back at the foul.
That's a good corner put in. It's only about 3 or 4 yards off, maybe goalkeeper ball. Difficult for Oliver Simlay with so many players in front of him, though.
But you go back to Alex Covello and the idea of Monterey Bay taking it to Lexington. That was something that he said his message to the team was regardless of the circumstances, we have to find a way to impose ourselves on this game.
Play with character and personality was something he added to that. And look, it's easier said than done. When Lexington are coming at you with all their quality, it sort of forces you to defend, and that was the problem in the latter part of the first half. Now, it remains to be seen whether Monterey Bay can keep those options going forward, as you talk about, get Leggett going forward as well, Elijah Paul. They've got their own players who can cause problems. It's got to get service to them.
Rodriguez handcuffed there. Nagamura didn't have the world's greatest first half, as we showed you during our halftime highlights with the own goal giveaway that led to the opening goal. Atoning for some of that, though, by knocking that ball away from Rodriguez. They go back to him, Lexington do. This one rifled from distance. The rebound coughed up off the initial save. Falls into the path of Xavier Zenge.
That's a good save from Jacob Jackson. Just manages to palm it away from the waiting Lexington strikers for a second there. Looked like he might palm it into their feet, but he gets it away from danger, does Jacob Jackson.
Epps will loft this across goal, headed down and cleared away from the line.
It's another opportunity again. Pressure coming from Lexington. Zenge does so well with the header and just cleared off the line there brilliantly by Monterey Bay.
It was something we saw in the first half for Monterey Bay, specifically the late stages. As you put it, they just couldn't wrap their foot around the ball to get it clear deep enough. That time cleared away, although it concedes a Commonwealth Credit Union corner to Lexington. Christian Hernandez wants to chat with Jacob Jackson.
I do find it strange that you, as a referee, you have to explain the rules for this, but nowhere else in the game to explain the rules. I'm thinking, let them get on with it. If they break the rules, then you blow the whistle.
Blaine Ferry goes back to the well. Rifles this in toward goal, drops in front, and lofted clear again by Monterey Bay. Able to take the pressure off. Simlay almost caught in no man's land, a bit too casual with it. Does it make you nervous as a former goalkeeper seeing keepers hang out there?
They just about reached his destination. That was so close to being intercepted with the goalkeeper miles out of his goal.
Epps works it over. Here's Firmino. Firmino loads up, deflected out, and it's the second corner for Lexington in the last 60 seconds.
Yeah, pressure building again, as it did in the latter part of that first half. And as we always say, if the pressure builds, eventually something goes your way. Be it a deflection, be it an own goal, be it a penalty. And they are applying so much pressure here at Lexington SC.
Another Commonwealth Credit Union corner from this near side for Blaine Ferry. Ferry lofts it in, glance back post. It'll fall all the way through. Lexington Sporting Club is thrilled to offer Lil Kickers, a nationally acclaimed youth soccer program built for children ages 18 months to 9 years. Sessions are now live. Sign up at lexsporting.com/youth.
Sure. High pressure. Sorry, I was going to say high press. Look at the number of black shirts in that Monterey Bay half.
Worked ahead, but the offside flag will come up. You quite literally took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say the exact same thing you were.
Great minds think alike.
Exactly what I'm thinking right there. They move it over to Jacob Jackson. The average starting position on these build-outs from the back for Monterey Bay have been exceptionally low. As you stated earlier, it's inviting a lot of pressure from Lexington. As that first half went on, we saw Lexington start to take advantage of that pressure.
It's very brave from Monterey Bay, but just as a long ball now, sometimes just knock a long ball right up. Elijah Paul is a decent-sized striker. Maybe aim for him, see if he could knock something down. Even if defenders get it, try and win the second ball. But to always play through this high press, very risky maneuver from Monterey Bay.
You mentioned Elijah Paul. We highlighted him in our broadcast open as a player to watch, and safe to say Lexington must have been paying attention to the open because they have honed in on him. Only 18 touches so far. Does not have a single chance created or a shot on target coming into the second half.
Yeah, a player his coach picked out, Alex Cavello, and said, I wish I had more players like him. His commitment, his work rate, top class.
Malloy clips it along, forces Monterey Bay to head that out, and it's another corner for Lexington, third already in this second half. Commonwealth Credit Union corner coming here for Lexington. Blaine Ferry goes the short option in. Epps gives it back to Ferry. Lifted clear, though, by Monterey Bay. Combination to spring Epps free. Now he will knife back inside on Sebastian Leggett. Leggett forcing the turnover, and now it's in the favor of Monterey Bay. If they move quickly, they have the numbers. Leggett will switch. From distance, Barajas, shot won't make its way through.
It's that combination of Leggett and Barajas, two very, very skillful players, and the Barajas shot there. He seems to be taking the players off the pitch. Now I wonder if that's lightning.
Looks like that is what our center referee, Christian Campo Hernandez, just mouthed to the players. It has been an isolated thunderstorm type of day here in this Lexington area. You see the cloud cover there off in the distance. And Christian Hernandez has vacated the pitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Due to severe weather conditions in the area, the match has been temporarily suspended.
That's frustrating for all the players. Just when you get into that two-thirds part of the game, when it's all going to happen, you're level at 2-2. Now they're going to have to keep warm, keep active, keep focused, get ready for when they can get back out on the pitch, which we hope is not too long.
Officially in a weather delay here in Lexington due to lightning in the area. 2-2, almost 60 minutes deep into this contest, and we head to a break due to inclement weather here in Kentucky. The weather has moved out of the area. The teams are back on the pitch, and we are almost set to resume. Monterey Bay and Lexington SC 2-2 at the resumption of this contest. And let's get you up to speed on how we got to where we're at following this roughly hour weather delay. Things started out pretty quickly for Monterey Bay. In the 3rd minute, Sebastian Leggett, the veteran, stepping through the heart of the Lexington defense, slotting it short side on Oliver Simla, and that made it 1-0 Monterey Bay. 23 minutes of game time later, Sebastian Leggett would lead the charge again down that left flank. This time he'd dish it off, finding Fidel Barajas, who tucks it in. It made it 2-0. And from there, it looked like Monterey Bay may run away with this contest. But the Greens of Lexington SC, their high-octane attack would not be kept off the score sheet. In the 29th minute, Aaron Malloy, the top midfielder in USL Championship, forces a turnover, and Braudilio Rodriguez gives Lexington life and these fans something to cheer about. And then in the 42nd minute, they'd feed Nick Firmino. He'd put it in front, and the deflection off Ryuga Nakamura, hanging his head, dejected, but Lexington were excited. That made it 2-2. We went into the halftime break square at 2 apiece, played about 10 minutes of second half action before we were brought to the weather delay. And this is official USL After Dark time here in Lexington, Kentucky. Glad to have you with us, along with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. Let's get weird, folks. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time. These teams have set for about an hour and a half. The question becomes, Lexington, can they pick up where they left off prior to that extended weather break? They had all the momentum. You look at the start of Lexington's second half prior to the weather interruption. In the second half alone, 4 corners for the Greens. They had 63% possession. And a shout out to these fans here in Lexington, Kentucky. Braving the weather, sticking around, and trying to help will Lexington SC into what could possibly be their 7th victory of the year. As for Monterey Bay, you had all the momentum at the start of this contest. 2-0, less than 30 minutes into the match, and yet you couldn't hold on to that. Alex Covello, he said earlier this week, our broadcast team had a chance to catch up with him, that some of the mistakes these last few weeks have just compounded themselves. He said that we just have to play better. They got the tarps off in Lexington. Officiating crew back on the pitch, as are these two. Lexington will make one change, their first of the day. Braudilio Rodriguez starting the comeback for Lexington in that 29th minute. He comes off, on comes Tyrick Scott, who is no stranger to Monterey Bay. 9 appearances, 3 goal involvements last year on a loan spell with the Crispin Kelp. That coming on the heels of spending majority of his career, in fact 4 seasons in the FC Dallas organization, primarily with North Texas SC. Former USL side turned MLS Next Pro club. Things will resume with the drop ball from Christian Campo Hernandez. There it is, and we are officially back underway following the weather delay. And promptly a turnover forced. Heavy collision sends Philip Goodrum tumbling down. Lexington fans apoplectic at the lack of a whistle, and we play on. Mac Hemme there on the left side of your screen, up on the touchline, having stern words with 4th official Race Williams. Here's Monterey Bay trying to open up the contest. The switch takes a deflection off Tyrick Scott for Lexington, but into the possession here of Omari Glasgow, the native of Guyana. as was so astutely pointed out by USL comms man Nicholas Murray on Blue Sky, the first 15 minutes of the second half have been a real sore spot for Monterey Bay as this ball goes looping into the area, cleared and headed by Lexington. 11 goals conceded by the Crisp and Kelp in the opening 15 minutes of the second half this year. And now Mac Himmy is going to be shown a yellow. Both he and Jordan Stewart, that is the same Jordan Stewart who was previously the manager of Monterey Bay, both up in that substitution area and continuing to give Race Williams, the fourth official, what for. This foul, though, sets Leggett up with a free kick for Monterey Bay. He volleys it out wide to Barajas, who stands up across into the mixer. Headed down, Lexington appeals for a handball go unanswered, but the Greens in possession. Here's Epps, rifles this one ahead. Ferry trying to fight through would-be challenges. Jacob Jackson will come out, and he will hack that one clear. Jacob Jackson, 2 saves in this contest. We mentioned the yellow card against Lexington. That is a yellow for Mac Himmy, their manager, brought to you by Hicks and Funtson. Meanwhile, we get another stoppage from Christian Hernandez. And there is Mac Himmy, appointed manager in December of 2025, just prior to the start of this new USL Championship season. Bit of a unique situation coming over from the Lexington SC women's side. Gave way to Kosuke Kimura to take over. He led Lexington's women's team to this most recent Gainbridge Super League title in 2025. Here's Goodrum now. Turns it upfield, running onto it. It's Epps. Epps on the left. Epps unleashes. Deflected back. Falls to Green, who clips this inside. Barajas was trying to spring out for Monterey Bay with that ball. Ends up caroming to the feet of Kendall Burks, the former Nottingham Forest trialist. Firmino holds play. Now directing traffic is Nick Firmino. 2 goals this year against Monterey Bay. Funneled back to Firmino. Malloy. Green to Epps. Epps changing direction. Epps flashes this in, headed over the bar by Firmino and out of play. We're going to rise out of the fans, and for good reason. Nick Firmino climbing the ladder, just can't put it on the target. That has been somewhat of the issue tonight for Lexington, as Jackson under duress. 14 shots now, only 3 on target for the Greens. Christian Hernandez content to let these teams play just a little bit. Now played up ahead. Leggett running onto it, tries to play a man through. Deflected away by Lexington, but Elijah Paul will pick up the pieces now. Late arrival, it's Barajas. Fidel Barajas has 1 goal today. He and Sebastian Leggett combining on that second goal for Monterey Bay back in the 26th minute. Meanwhile, Malloy will turn it out wide into the path of Marcus Epps. There is Philip Goodrum. 3 goal involvements in his last 3 matches for the Nashville native and former Atlanta United, Memphis 901, and FC Tulsa center forward. There he was trying to hold things up again, wanted to work it back out wide via the back heel. And now we get a whistle for another stoppage. Anytime you have an extended weather delay like what we saw earlier in this fixture, I wonder about how these teams will come out of the gates, but Monterey Bay right now all firing. It's legit toward goal, pawed away, put back in front, and cleared off the line. The former Loose City and NCFC keeper, Ali Simla, coming to the rescue for Lexington. Leggett had his eyes on a brace, denied by the 28-year-old. Monterey Bay looking for the switch. This was something they didn't do a lot of prior to the stoppage in play. A couple moments where they were able to successfully change the point of the attack. Their press, though, forces a turnover. Leggett with it. If you were to watch Sebastian Leggett play in this contest, you'd have no idea that he's played almost 30,000 career minutes. He is moving up and down the pitch with ease as that ball loops out of play. It'll stay on this end, though. Over an hour gone of game time in this contest. It'll be a corner here for Monterey Bay. They hack this one in, headed down and wide. Despite conceding 2 unanswered, Monterey Bay have done well for themselves to put bodies in front of Oliver Simla on these set pieces. Here's Lexington's netminder, working it forward on the long ball. Lexington wants a foul. They're not going to get it. Now up ahead, here's Leggett. Weaves past Malloy. Barajas, the 2 goal scorers linking up. Barajas unleashes. Blocked away again. Ferry dispossessed. Able to pick it back up, though, for Lexington. Green's off to the races. Looping ball ahead. Won't find the feet of Philip Goodrum. See Alex Covello hovering there at the bottom of the frame. In his first year as the manager for Monterey Bay, appointed in April, taking over after the club parted ways with Jordan Stewart, former MLS assistant with San Jose Earthquakes, did a spell as their interim manager in 2022. Also was the manager of their MLS Next Pro side, San Jose Earthquakes 2. He said earlier this week that when you look at Monterey Bay, he wants this side to look similar to some of those same tactical ideologies you would have seen when he was coaching San Jose. Good one-touch forward from Glasgow into the possession of Paul. Took an awkward hop up off the grass, though, here at Lexington SC Stadium. Elijah Paul, our player to watch for Monterey Bay in our broadcast open. Lexington has held him in check, hasn't been as productive as he would like to be over on that left side of the midfield. There's 24 touches, only 3 of those have occurred in the Lexington penalty area. Rolled forward on the restart, here's Epps. Shakes off one, Epps, back out wide, it's Green, the cut back in front, misses wide! A brilliant sequence for Lexington and another chance to pull that elusive 3rd goal out of a hat. Good feed from Green as Jackson had come out. Goodrum just couldn't settle it enough to get a decent chance on the target. But here comes Lexington again. Malloy battling there. Anis Saidi coming over earlier this year on a loan from San Diego FC. Very productive, making his 4th start in a Monterey Bay shirt. He has shown a whistle, and this sets Aaron Malloy up with a free kick. Just once this year, Lexington have converted off a free kick. Malloy whips this toward goal, bounces around in front, and goes wide again. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. As is true for so many venues around this league, not a bad seat in the house here at Lexington SC Stadium. Turnover forced, Firmino pouncing on it. Nick Firmino straddling the stripe there at the end. Epps tries to feed it back through. We get a whistle, and that will halt things. It'll be a throw in here for Monterey Bay. They came into this fixture back-to-back losses in USL Championship play, the 3rd longest active losing streak in the championship behind Indy 11, who owns the longest, and Oakland Roots, who have the 2nd longest. Trying to get back in the win column away from home is Monterey Bay, where they've lost 16 of their last 22 road championship fixtures outright. Meanwhile, Philip Goodrum will win another whistle. Second time in the last 2.5 minutes here for Lexington SC, having an attacking half free kick. This is about the exact same spot Malloy just took one. Lexington's captain, sizing things up in front of him. Malloy again fires toward goal, and Jackson will see that end all the way through traffic. Bay and Alex Covello still with all 5 changes in front of them as we close in on the final 20 minutes of this contest. Those options on the bench for Monterey Bay. The recent acquisition, Diego Otoya, brought in on the loan from Sporting Cristal in Peru. Played through, Tyrick Scott slots it centrally, and Jackson will pounce on it again. Christian Hernandez will bring things to a halt once more. Tyrick Scott laboring just a touch. A mess of bodies down back behind the play. One of those bodies for Monterey Bay includes Ryuga Nakamura, the native of Japan, coming over from the Latvian Super League. Playing Scott through there was Zenge, and just a collision. Meanwhile, Lexington will make another substitution, and it is the man brought over earlier in the week. Cello Tesantrit will come on for his first appearance in a Lexington shirt, the loan acquisition from Sporting Kansas City and Sporting Kansas City 2. A number of chances earlier in the year to actually see Cello Tesantrit up close and personal with Sporting Kansas City 2. Chatted with his dad, Lee Tesantrit, about the growth of Cello, how much he has improved over the last few years, getting those opportunities in MLS Next Pro, and now a significant jump up in competition for the 20-year-old. Coming over to USL Championship. Similar work at forward, settled on the first touch, but volleyed too high and wide. That is where Farnsworth and Jackson for Monterey Bay will watch it roll all the way back. I do remember having a conversation with Ali Simla's college coach, Chris Grassi, during his time at Marshall. I date myself here just a little bit. Oliver Simla and I were college classmates during his time at Marshall. And I remember Grassi had said way back when that he felt like Simla had such an uncanny ability to get involved in the game with the feet. It's such a crucial part of the modern goalkeeper. You hear so many pundits and media types talk about it, but Chris Grassi, national champion college coach at the D1 level, said he hadn't seen a keeper at that age as good as that. Here's Epps now, goes for goal, parried away by Jackson, who's now made 4 crucial saves for Monterey Bay. This gives way to another corner for Lexington here at home. A Commonwealth Credit Union corner for the Greens. It'll be Malloy trying to spin this in. 9th corner coming for Lexington. Malloy, in-swinging ball headed away. Nakamura got to it first for Monterey Bay. Now whipped up ahead. There was a foul that will set Lexington up with a free kick. As end-to-end, as open as this contest was before we hit the weather delay, it's almost been even more end-to-end since play resumed. Both these teams, high work rate, getting up and down the pitch. And for Lexington, now an opportunity off a set piece here. The angle relatively straight on. The distance not too great for Aaron Malloy, who hits this toward goal. Oh, wow! It just goes wide. And it did carry him in at the last minute for Aaron Malloy, initial indication, but now they say no, it did go wide of that far stick. Malloy can't believe it, thought he had hit one.
Substitution for Monterey Bay FC, number 11,
So a sigh of relief breathed for Alex Covello and company. And now Jacob Jackson will put it back into play. 2 changes made by Monterey Bay during that break in play. Diego Otoya will come on, first run in a Monterey Bay shirt. Wesley Leggett will join him as well. That is 3 changes now used by Alex Covello, including the early change made in the first half, bringing off Nick Ross. And now another whistle here. Monterey Bay wants an explanation, as does Tyrick Scott for Lexington. Based on the reaction, safe to say Tyrick Scott disagrees with the stoppage. And it will give Monterey Bay a free kick. The netminder almost caught in no man's land again there. Able to turn away from that pressure, however. Still the most recent goal that was scored in this contest, the 43rd minute own goal against Monterey Bay. Really coming close just moments ago off a free kick, but Lexington still pushing for that elusive third goal. They've had great looks, a couple of good saves in this second half from Jacob Jackson. They have 8 shots, 2 on target. Here's Malloy. Malloy lines one up, won't make its way through. Malloy plays it through and cleared away. Epps fires it in behind. Lexington are in. Pass, though, behind Tyrick Scott. And again, Monterey Bay, they bend, but they don't break. Dangerous pass back over to Jacob Jackson, the 26-year-old, able to get it away and hoof it forward. Flipped ahead by Malloy. Here's Marcus Epps again. Spent time with Memphis, San Antonio, Phoenix, Tulsa, and Hartford throughout his career. Now here with Lexington in his second season. Greens will switch the point of the attack over to Scott on the right. Malloy floats it back in behind. Once more, Glasgow is there for Monterey Bay. But Malloy fighting to keep that ball alive for Lexington. Epps again, the switch. Takes a hop over the head of Zenge, who pulls it in, turns, tries to cross, but wins a corner out of it nonetheless. Lexington SC fans, the USL Championship squad will be back in action on Saturday, August 8th for 8-1-1 Day presented by Kentucky 8-1-1. Be sure to purchase your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets. Corner loading here, a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Lexington. And who else but Aaron Malloy set to take. Malloy drives this out, headed and parried aside. The rebound is headed in! Tyrick Scott, the super substitute, coming through in the 80th minute and sending Lexington in front, 3-2. It's been a sore point defensively this year for Monterey Bay. Set piece defense, specifically the corners given up. Took a couple of pops around off the mitts of Jacob Jackson. Right place, right time for Tyrick Scott. Three unanswered for Mac Hemmy's side. And now with less than 9 minutes to go, Lexington in command, completely turning this game on its head from down 2 to up 1. Tyrick Scott, the January acquisition, doing it against a team that he spent time with last year. The Brooklyn native. No better goal than he scored this year. No more important goal than he scored this year for Lexington. As we get a whistle for another stoppage. This is Diego Otoya who is down. Appearance in his Monterey Bay career that just recently began after coming over. Not the first Monterey Bay man to go down off an aerial duel with the knocking of the heads. We saw Nick Ross have to exit earlier. Alex Covello will make another change. Quentin Elliott, the former Indiana Hoosier, on. Ryuga Nakamura, his evening is done. Quentin Elliott got the start last match week over at that right back spot where Joel Garcia Jr. started out today. That was the only personnel change that Alex Covello made from match week 21 to match week 22. Now here's Leggett. Diagonal ball. Over to Otoya. From distance, Simluk gets a piece of it. The rebound popped up, but he will corral that ball back in. The aforementioned Joel Garcia Jr. stepping into that ball. Hold-up play from Firmino, able to connect with Scott right now. The hero for Lexington, still some time to go. The Lexington fans that remain here at Lexington Stadium following the weather delay, shouting, "We want more." The way Lexington have been able to score goals in abundance since going down 2-0. They may get that wish. Initially, there was a whistle, and to add insult to injury, a card's going to come out of the pocket. Quentin Elliott coming on the pitch and immediately making an impact, albeit maybe not the impact he was hoping for. Shown a yellow. Goes studs up, trying to slide in and keep that ball alive. That is a yellow against Quentin Elliott, brought to you by Hicks and Thumpson. Long ball ahead on the restart. Scott will run that one down on the near side, but can't get past Stuart Ritchie. Back in play, Ritchie now will turn that one back upfield. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM 157 and the Sirius XM app. Speaking of USL All Access, Mike Watts, Devin Kerr on the most recent episode, breaking down the Atletico Dallas acquisition of Javier Hernandez. Chicharito electing to join the ranks of USL. The first signing in Atletico Dallas history. Heard about it during our halftime report as well. We caught up with Dan Lucas. You get a whistle, and Sebastian Lletget will have a free kick for Monterey Bay. As they say on the internet, USL, biggest league in the world, and bringing Chicharito in just proves that. Lofted ahead by Lletget. Nodded away. Now Glasgow steps into it. Not much danger presented by that. Here's Goodrum wrestled down. The card was already out of the pocket and in the hands of Christian Hernandez. Joel Garcia Jr. will go into the book to join some of his teammates for this foul right there. A Hicks and Thumpson yellow handed out to Joel Garcia Jr., a professional foul, as one might say. Chantret. Pass was a bit telegraphed. Monterey Bay stepping in front of it. Now here's Joseph Jr. Benoit Joseph Jr. spent some time in the Paris Saint-Germain Academy as a youth prior to coming over to the States and playing for Villanova collegiately. Spent 2 seasons at Villanova. Here is Sebastian Lletget, Gold Cup winner with the U.S. men's national team in 2021. They find it ahead from distance, goes skipping wide once more. This has been a look that has been productive for Monterey Bay. Omari Glasgow on the right-hand side. He's been able to race ahead, provide that width. Watch the USL Championship and League One. They're on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. We showed you some of those listings during our halftime report, including tonight's match on the CBS Sports Golazo Network. Orange County and El Paso Locomotive clashing. Orange County trying to put some separation between themselves and San Antonio, who were victorious against Indy 11 to run Indy 11's losing skid to 5 consecutive matches. Right now, Orange County on top of El Paso, 1-0 in the 35th minute. Turn it back upfield, looking for Tyrick Scott. Advantage is played here for Monterey Bay. Elliott finds Glasgow. 63 appearances between Chicago Fire and Chicago Fire 2. Over the last 4 seasons for Omari Glasgow. Officially 3 minutes of stoppage time doled out by Race Williams, our fourth official. Takes a deflection, falls back at the feet of Joseph, wants to go back through to Glasgow. Loose ball picked up by Quentin Elliott, lifted into the mixer, collision inside, and we will get a whistle. You see Christian Hernandez pointing to the head and immediately calling for trainers to charge onto the pitch. Seven-year-old Jermaine Brown back to his feet. He had gone down, was trying to argue, Brown was, with Hernandez, that he was good to stay in the contest, and Christian Hernandez hearing none of it, telling him he has to exit the field. I have to imagine our center referee will tack some of this lost time on at the end of this 3 given for second half stoppage time. Already almost 90 seconds of it have gone by. Now Oliver Semla told to back that goal restart up. Alex Covello, he's pleading his case. We saw this in the first half. One of the rare occurrences of a corner being given to Lexington because of time wasting by Jacob Jackson, and that's undoubtedly what's on the mind of Monterey Bay's manager. Lovely back heel forward. Lexington still fighting through, and ultimately, as Philip Goodrum dragged down again, he'll draw another whistle against the Crispin Kelp. There's Malloy. He's had plenty of bites of the apple on free kicks in this second half. Malloy restarts things right toward Jacob Jackson. Headed out by Lexington, Monterey Bay with one last push here as we have gone over the 3 given for second half stoppage time. Green's trying to hound Monterey Bay into a turnover. They won't concede any ground despite retreating just a bit back. Ball nearly overrun, but Monterey Bay able to keep possession. Farnsworth off the foul, quickly restarted. Funneled back down the near channel here. Twisting and turning is Monterey Bay, and we get a whistle. It'll be a free kick here for the Crispin Kelp. Likely one of, if not the final kick of the game for Monterey Bay. Just trying to create some space. Wesley Leggett was between he and Xavier Zingay. Oliver Semla looks on for Lexington in net. At one point in this match, Monterey Bay up 2-0. They've surrendered that lead. Leggett fires back post, nodded away, headed clear by Lexington. The comeback complete. Down 2 goals, but never out. Lexington rally all the way back and get a late winner past the 80th minute to steal all 3 points against Monterey Bay. Lexington with the win, tying a club record for most points earned in a 7-match span, and they do it off the back of the efforts of tonight's man of the match. Tyrick Scott, the 21-year-old, comes on in the second half and heads Lexington into the lead. It's all over in Kentucky. Lexington runs off 3-2 winners against their Western Conference rivals. We will head to break and return to recap it all.
This isn't just a soccer match. This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise, the energy. 90 minutes where nothing else matters.
Into the box, Firmino sizzles the strings.
It's the year of the horse, our year.
Oh, what a save by Sedley.
Be there when it happens.
It takes dozens of muscles to pinch your fingertips, countless neurons firing right on cue. But when a car accident left Allison paralyzed, it took a rare procedure by a UK healthcare expert to restore those lost motor skills so she could care for herself again, and for others too. It may look like an ordinary bracelet, but Allison knows ordinary is extraordinary. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise, the energy. 90 minutes where nothing else matters.
Into the box, Firmino sizzles the strings.
It's the year of the horse, our year.
Oh, what a save by Sedley.
Be there when it happens.
Back in Lexington, the Greens of Lexington SC pick up their 7th win of the year and move to 25 points on the campaign. There were plenty of highlights in this contest with 5 combined goals. So let's show them to you with our full-time highlights between Lexington and Monterey Bay. Second meeting this year, second time Lexington have grabbed 3 goals. But early on in the 3rd minute, it was Sebastian Leggett rolling it into the net, and that made it 1-0. Then Leggett would come all the way back down 23 minutes later, and he would serve this on a platter to Fidel Barajas. Barajas opening his Monterey Bay account and helping Monterey Bay open up a 2-0 advantage. But just before the half-hour mark, Lexington would find a spark. Aaron Malloy, the interception, fed to Braudilio Rodriguez, smooches the post and ricochets it in. And from there, Lexington would not look back. 42nd minute. Monterey Bay gifting their opposition an own goal against Ryuga Nakamura. Then things would continue to get interesting. Lexington would have an opportunity here. Open net as Jackson comes out. Goodrum rolls it wide. 10 minutes later, this one rifled just wide of the target. Goes ricocheting off the back of the net, but not in. And then, 6 minutes later, this is where Lexington would find their hero. A wise man once said, horses don't stop, they keep going. And that is true for Lexington SC. Tyrick Scott off the bench, into the net, and Lexington not just into a lead, but into a win as we take a look at our full-time stats. They tell the full story. Lexington, pretty efficient night at the office, just a handful of shots on target, but they get 3 goals out of it, and they've now scored 6 goals in 180 minutes of football against Monterey Bay. One more matchup this season, between these teams, but for Lexington, they now move up the table into a tie for 5th in the West. Lexington is green on this Saturday night. 3 goals from 2 different goal scorers, and Lexington wins it 3-2. For producer Kiara Rodriguez, director Claudio Tellicher, and the rest of our broadcast crew, I'm Jake Griffith, saying so long from the Bluegrass State. Lexington picks up win number 7 in spectacular fashion.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.